Hello, Richard Affendale here, and another Positive Enough vlog. Hopefully you enjoyed or found the first video useful about how you could structure your day in this interesting and unprecedented time. So I just want to touch base on a couple of things that I've seen flying around the internet, and also conversations that we've had with parents and students. And I just think this is useful for all children and for parents as well. Please, not telling you what to do, just a reflection on some of the things that I've thought about when reading about the current situation and also interacting with others. So firstly, we are in unprecedented times. As a school, but I know all schools have done this, there is a lot of online learning. We've set up Google Classroom here at our school, and students have been amazing with that. We are so impressed, sending our work back in for us to look at as well. But there are other things, other sources as well, like GCSE Pod and Hegarty Maths and Tassomai. And if you go to our school website, Priory Community School Academy, you'll see lots of online learning tools there as well. So you might not be able to access a Google Classroom if you're not a member of our school, but you'll see web links to lots of online learning. So if that is something you're interested in, please, we recommend you to go to the website and have a look at that. In my first video, I talked about some ideas on how to structure your day. We had a couple of conversations with students about they felt overwhelmed, there was a lot of work there to do. And I just want to touch base on that. We recommended a structure following your school timetable. So if you're in a secondary school or a college or university, you probably have a timetable. Follow that timetable because it adds structure to your day. If you're in a primary school or a little learners, it's slightly different. So feel free to mix it up a bit. Be flexible about that. If that means doing half an hour a bit of work and then doing something different, then do that. We are in unprecedented times here. Nobody predicted where we'd be now, and I think we have to really take note of the amazing job schools and teachers have done and are doing daily, but also as parents, if you're working from home, that's really challenging. I've got 3 daughters at home, so it's very difficult to try and do your work as well as look after and support your children through their schoolwork and other activities. So you have to be flexible. As students, we're not in school for that 5-6 solid hours where you'll be learning and your lessons and it's directed. So again, be flexible about it. Maybe look to do 3 or 4 hours a day, and break up your day differently. Do half hour of English and half hour of maths, and do something very different and help out around the home. But don't be feeling overwhelmed that there's a lot of work there and you're not getting through it. All the work is put online is to support you, give you tasks to help you with your learning over the next few weeks and however long the lockdown happens and the school closures happen. But don't feel you have to work all the way through that. Okay, make sure you are doing different things. As I've mentioned, we're in an unprecedented time. Let's use this time really well. Let's do things that we haven't maybe done before. So as students, can you help out a bit more around the home? Can you do a bit of housework and maybe prepare a meal for your parents or whoever you live with? Learn a different language, practice a musical instrument, do something a bit different. Okay, use this time to really go after a goal that you're interested in. Yes, continue with doing some schoolwork. I say a couple of hours a day. But can you use that time to do something very, very different? So I've seen a number of times people posting exercise videos in their gardens and shooting basketball hoops. Brilliant. But use that time effectively for something a bit different. I'm going to try and learn a little bit more Spanish. I'm not very good at it, but I'm going to try and learn a bit more Spanish. And that's going to be a challenge that I'm going to set myself. But as students, can you help out a bit around the house as well? Can you have a go baking? I say making a meal for people that you live with, maybe some artwork or painting or something creative, but something a bit different. And I know as a parent, I'd find it really helpful when my children were helping around the house a bit more if they possibly could. Not always stressing about doing all this schoolwork for 5-6 hours a day, 3 or 4 hours a day, fantastic, and then using that time effectively. Try not to spend too much time on screens as students. This isn't good for your mental health. If you've got to use it for work and so forth, then fine, but make sure you have some downtime. Go outside into the garden if you're fortunate enough to have that, a garden. Walk the dogs if you've got dogs and so forth, but obviously follow government guidelines about that exercise regime as well. And it's something I reflect on as a parent, and I'm sure lots of you are already doing this, and if so, you're a much better parent than I am, is that we are in interesting, challenging times. And there are lots of people that are worried and scared about what is happening at the moment and the situation we find ourselves in. Maybe we've got to take a time to reflect and slow down a bit and talk to people around us, our families, our children, and make sure people are okay. Just check in and support with children and other people in the household, that they're okay with the situation. We always got to be kind to each other and help each other out. That's really important. But now more than ever, I think it's a really important time to make sure we keep an eye out and look after each other. But yeah, please don't feel too overwhelmed with what is going on in terms of schoolwork and so forth. Do your best. Go to our website, which I mentioned at the beginning. There's loads of work there. There's work there that could last weeks and weeks and weeks. It's not expected you do all of that, okay, in the next week or so. It is there for you to use. As I say, a good structure is to follow your timetable, but maybe a couple of hours a day, 3 or 4 hours a day, because you're not in school. They are different times, but it's important to keep on top of a bit of schoolwork so that we don't have massive, huge losses in learning. But use this time effectively. Go and do something a bit different, as I say. Hopefully it's been useful, and I will see you all again soon.